Today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 things on our bucket list.
Wait, are you okay? Are you dying?
No, we're just talking about just things on the bucket list.
Yeah, but people make bucket lists only when they know they're dying.
No, but we're just.
Do I need to call somebody? I'll call somebody.
It's just a bucket list.
Do I have to call your wife? What's up, everyone?
I'm Ranuma.
And I'm Iz.
And welcome to the R&I podcast. What's up?
Welcome. All these W's out here with the welcomes. And
Wednesday.
wins.
It's Wednesday. What's going on, everybody?
All right, today we're going to be talking about the top or 5 things, at least 5 things on our bucket list. I actually had to think of some because I don't have a bucket list right now. But I do have things that I plan on doing, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're bucket lists.
Yeah, and no. We're not. Izzy and myself are not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
it's just one of those things, you know.
Very healthy young man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty hard. I don't know about you, but it was. It's funny because there's always these things where we travel and stuff like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but we never really actually wrote it down. And when it came down to being put on the spot and say, all right, what are the 5 things that you put in your bucket list? We're like, I what? It was just, it was pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. Well, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I don't really think about bucket lists all too much. I figure bucket lists are like things like you make when you're like in your mid 40s to 50s. You know what I mean? When you're like, when you can still rock on like doing like a concert, but you can't necessarily like maybe rock climb. Some 50-year-olds can. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. Normally, that's not like that issue. They've already done that in their 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess I'll start it off. The first thing that I want to do is I want to visit Japan, Korea, and China, all 3 of them in the same lifetime.
Whoa.
Why, you ask? I love the history that I've read. Okay, so like I started off with anime back in college, and I've been stuck with it since. And I was just fell in love with the history. It was the romanticism of it. It was just amazing. Like China and the 3 kingdoms, and their generals like Li Xin from, I don't know if you remember my the time traveling podcast we did. Or I talked about Li Xin, and he's a part of the history of China's unification. That's sick. Also, as well as Oda Nobunaga being my favorite general in that same episode. He was also, a big part of Japan's unification's history. And in Korea, you also have Lee Sun-shin, who is another general who fought off against Japanese invaders back in that time, and he created those turtle boats. Where the boats had a bunch of, I don't know if they had cannons. I believe they had cannons and like spear things that they just poke right through them. And like if you had cannons shooting at them, it would just roll off from the top. It was a genius invention by a Korean general. So obviously I have generals of each country in mind. I mean, there are probably others I would still have to learn from. Like my good friend that I've known since college actually is a descendant of a samurai family out of Okinawa, and it's amazing. And also the culture. I grew up in Hawaii, so those 3 countries they have huge influences on the Hawaiian culture these days. You have rice. Rice is a huge staple out in Hawaii. I don't know if Hawaii came up with rice before, but I believe we did have rice back then, as well as they brought sushi, or not sushi. We had nori, but I don't think we had the idea of drying it. You know what I mean? So the culture there is beautiful. I mean, they have so much, like, they teach us so many things, the values. Like in Hawaii, just like in any of the Asian countries, you don't walk into this house with shoes. So it's obviously, I'm probably going to know the culture very well. And of course, wifey. You know what I'm saying?
So
Wifey.
yeah, those are some good three reasons why the history, the culture, and wifey. I mean, ever since I've known you, it was always about the wifey. But yeah, you got a good one. History and culture is some good reasons why you would go to those three places. But my first one um, would be to visit all seven continents. I've been to four of seven already. So those four being, of course, North America, Europe, been to Asia, and I've been to South America. I haven't been to Africa, Antarctica, and I really want to go to Australia. Um, it seems like a easy bucket list, but when you talk about going to Antarctica, that's when it gets a little difficult.
Yeah, I was
It's
like,
like,
I think you have to go through New Zealand to get to Antarctica, from what I heard.
yeah, it's like how? When would you even go there? When would be a good time?
Why did you go to the other continents, or like why would you want to visit these continents just to be there?
Just to be there, just to say I've been to all seven continents.
Flex on
Just
everybody. Oh yeah, have
yeah.
you been on all seven continents like that? I see you. I see you.
But I mean, I love to travel. If I could, I would just like literally get on a plane right now and just go anywhere in the world and just see different cultures like how you like um, your reason for going to Korea, Japan, or China would be to just witness people's behaviors and just watch them and see how it is uh, compared to what you're used to at home, which my home would be, North America, Las Vegas, Nevada. It could be totally different. Like something that you would do over here would be something that can be probably rude in different countries, like in, say, Germany or whatnot. So I want to be able to just say, yeah, I've been to seven continents. I set foot on all seven of them, all seven of the continental lands.
All your
So
breakfasts will be continental.
yeah.
Continental. Not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, continental breakfast. Yes, yes. I love breakfast.
Well, I mean that's pretty dope. I wanna travel on and visit some continents, or at least be in different parts of the world. I want to travel Europe. I do want to travel. I want to go to Russia and as well. That'd be
Mhm.
cool. Um, I could just see me going to like Australia, and then everybody's gonna like see me weird, like I have an accent. That like there's a lot of guys, or there's a lot of Polynesians out in Australia, so they'll be like, "Oh, you're not from here."
Yeah, there's a lot of Filipinos over there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of Asian over there too.
Yeah.
There's a
So
big. It's just like I guess it'd be like here, huh?
the only thing I wouldn't be looking forward to is the wildlife in Australia. It's
The
crazy.
wildlife or the
The,
insects. Yeah, frig
the
that.
wildlife. The 7-ton looking spider.
Well, for
Yeah,
me,
forget
my
that.
second item on my bucket list is I want to have $1 million in my bank account. I
Mm,
can achieve this goal. I can do this. I
of
believe in
course,
myself.
of course.
I believe I can make that. So don't laugh at me, okay? I believe I can be have $1 million. I was talking to my brother about billionaires. So
Hmm.
a billionaire, even though he has billions, but he can have a suite in Dubai, but he'll get comped. Why? Because they want his business. When I heard that, I was just like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean? They're like, let's comp this billionaire in case he wants to invest in our hotel. And then,
True.
and then he goes along saying, and they normally don't. I'm like, ooh,
Oh man!
ooh. But
Wow.
I'm, I'm believing in myself that I can probably have $1 million in my bank account. When? I hope soon. To be honest, hope soon.
Well, I
One way.
believe in you. I believe we can all do that. Because that's
I wish $1 million
also
into your account today as well.
there. You go. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we can split it up or something. I don't know, but $1 million in the bank account, we both can do it. Is we just gotta keep moving forward, keep going, keep going. But to get there, my number two on the bucket list is to open up a business that can help people, no matter what it is. I have one in mind, and it does include, my boy Iz, but that's kept under wraps. We want to make sure that we're doing this correctly, and hopefully we can get to Iz's second item on the bucket list hopefully soon, with my second item on my bucket list. But I mean, helping people, it has always been one of my thing. It's kind of like nature.
I mean, that's your day job, isn't it? Aren't you always
Yeah.
helping people?
Yeah, I know. I'm a respiratory therapist, and as you can see, I got Batman over here. He likes to help people too. So it's just that thing. So that's my second one.
Okay. And then for my third one, I want also, some of you guys may know that I'm in a reggae band out here in Las Vegas, and I've performed everywhere a little bit, not everywhere in this country yet, but I've performed in about, I want to say, like 13 different states, which I think is pretty incredible, considering where I started from.
He's a big deal.
But I do have a huge dream, and I want to get this off of my bucket list soon, in the next 5 to 10 years, is performing in a different country. I want to perform songs I've written in a different country. I think that it'll be great. I would love to actually have it translated into the country's language.
Ooh.
Like prior to.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And just like kind of give out the lyrics to people. And I don't know. Color coordinate like my songs based off of what I'm singing. If they see the light, then they look for the lyrics. They're like, oh wow, that's what it means. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really nice to do. And that's one of my, I don't know, I would love to do it. Like back when I started this band, I just did it as like a hobby, and I was like, oh yeah, let's jam. Then all of a sudden we started getting calls to go out of state. I was like, oh, for real?
Yeah.
And then, we got to perform with island reggae artist Patti, and he took us to Utah, and I was just like, whoa, okay, all right. I've never been to Utah before until I had to perform in it. And so that was my first trip to Utah. It was I had to work. And so that was really my first taste of, kind of having to go out of where I live, or go out of my city to perform. And I was just like, wow. And that kind of took me out. And then, Patti at the time, he had, I guess a couple years prior to him coming here, he had performed at like New Zealand and in Japan. And I was like, he's like, do you want to go to Japan? I was like, yes. And I had just started getting into, anime and Japanese TV and Korean TV and all that stuff. Like I had just got into it. Like, and so it was just fresh out. Like, what do they call them today? Weebs. I was like a fresh weeb. Okay. However, like I grew up in Hawaii, so it's not like I don't know how, folks from Japan or Korea rolled. I knew how it was, but still, I was just like, man, like I could possibly perform. And ever since then, I used to use Pablo Francisco's "It's Gonna Happen" as like, as my like, yeah, it's gonna go down. Like everybody who saw me, like, yo, it's Japan. I was like, it's gonna happen, like that every time. And so
would you
number
say
3
that
is very important to me.
Yeah. So would you say that Japan would be like your or actually let me ask you this. What are your top 3? Because it may not be Japan, Korea, and China. What are your top 3 places that you would perform? Because obviously when you're performing you're doing some work, and if you go to Japan, Korea, and China, it's to be there on a leisure time. So what would be your top 3 places that you would go to perform? It doesn't have to be in order, just any 3.
The top 3 places to perform. Okay, so Japan would be one of them because I know they have a reggae scene out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that works.
China as well, because I also know that they have a reggae scene out there. And there's also reggae scenes in Hong Kong and Taiwan, which is I believe is like territories of China, but I'm not sure. So yeah, and then Korea, not so much because I don't know anything about the reggae scene out there in Korea. I would love to. What was that?
Maybe you can start the trend over there.
I could, but I'd have to live there. You know what I mean?
Oh, what a big sacrifice! Darn.
Are all green? Are all cards green over there? Like, is it a red card? That'd be dope. I would love to perform in South America.
Mm-hmm.
South America, in Brazil. I don't know, but like, I heard a lot of like, scary stories out in countries in South America. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you got to be like tough. I mean, I'm tough, but I mean, like, I'm also fragile. But
it's like I'm soft.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to perform in Brazil or in Venezuela because I know they like reggae, and Chile and Peru. There are a lot of reggae artists out there. I would love to perform in South America. Of course, South Africa or Africa in general. Anywhere in Africa that'll have me, that'll be dope. Australia and New Zealand because I've already performed with reggae artists from those countries. So, and I've performed with South American reggae artists out here in Las Vegas. So that's that kind of brings me to that. And I also want to perform in London. Because of UB40, baby, and also I think Bob Marley's album came out there first, and that's when he taught him about the bubble and skank method on the keyboards.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of countries that I definitely want to perform in. So Japan is my number one because I just got a huge rush of culture from them at the time of me possibly going there. So that Japan has always been that number one for me, but like London could probably be an easy number two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to perform in Jamaica because I don't want to be like junk. There's a place in Chicago. Man. I don't think it's around anymore called Wild Hair, and if you didn't play good reggae music, there was shatas there, which are like gangsters, Jamaican gangsters, and they'll throw stuff at you like bottles and stuff like that if you suck and glasses. And I was like, ooh. Don't want that.
Yeah, careful, Liz. Careful.
But, yeah.
Well, that's pretty interesting because my third item on my bucket list can probably help you go to those places. And my third item would be to own a private jet plane. Yeah, that's that one. Okay, so like again, I love to travel. But what if if you have, so with all the things that we've talked about already, with Iz's bucket list to get $1 million in his bank account, go to different countries. It sounds like we're going to be collaborating a lot. So owning a private jet plane would enable me to go whenever I want to a place, like no matter what time, without the restrictions or limitations or whatnot from other airlines and stuff like that. So owning it would give me a little bit more flexibility to go to other places that we want to go. So that's one of them, owning a private jet plane. So that it kind of ties into the first one, and I never really talked about why I even visited some of those continents. Well, obviously, North America. I was born here in Los Angeles, California. I have family in, family in Philippines because I'm Filipino, and I have a whole bunch of family there. Asia, Europe because my cousin lives in England, so I would go there. I feel like I'm overdue. And then, I went to South America. I actually visited one of my exes there. So Uh, when we were together at the time, so
Oh,
she lived in
oh,
Chile.
you visited
So
your ex? I was like,
no, she
as an ex?
who was my now ex.
Oh, okay.
So you're like, what? What? Why would
I
you
was
go
like, you
there
better.
on a jet plane? What? I was kidding. But no, she lived in Chile, so I ended up in South America, Chile. I even stopped over at Panama Canal, which is pretty, or Panama City, or Panama Canal, but whichever the two. And it was super humid over there, by the way. But yeah, so that's one, two, three, and four, and so I'm super ready for Australia, Antarctica, and Africa. I think we should go there. So that's my number three. Own a jet plane. Own a private
On
jet plane. So
Africa.
could probably go to Antarctica. Maybe. Who knows?
Don't you have to like hire a pilot?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you're gonna get $1 million, so you know.
By you. I'm just kidding. No, that
Um,
I always tell. I always tell my Pauline. I'm like, we run into these things like, oh, why aren't we millionaires yet? And I'm like, working on it.
it
Working
takes
on it.
time,
I
girl.
know. It's like it's working on it. That's like my response to her every time. It's like, why do I have to do this? I don't want to work. Da, 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 da. I'm like, retire early. Working on it.
Um, yeah, no, I completely understand. Uh, but so for my next one, we have okay. So I don't know if anybody else knows, but I think I told a few people. I have been getting into acting as of late. I have signed on to an acting management team out in LA called Dream Talent,
Telling you.
and one of my dreams is to be a regular in a popular sitcom, like Big Bang Theory, but for like
Hmm.
people like me, big and beautiful. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I just want to be on a sitcom. That'd be super cool to be like that friend that like I don't have to be the main character. It'd be dope to be the main character. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I do like the side characters' sides too because they always have like that dialogue that you're just like, oh dang, I didn't know this person was about that life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's definitely like one of those. Oh yeah, this guy for sure is my favorite character. Like I know that main characters normally like would be the popular one, but I mean, come on.
But the
Like if you think
pressure is
about it,
on
like
them.
let's look at Boy Meets World. Corey Matthews is the main character, hands down.
Hmm.
But he wasn't my favorite character. My favorite character, I think it was Eric Matthews, his brother, because he was hilarious. He was dumb, but he was hilarious. Like there was a scene where he's all like, oh my gosh, did you hear? Math is going to be 50% of the test, or no, math is going to be half of the test, and then Eric Matthews goes, half? What is that? 30, 40%? And the guy goes, 50. He goes, more? Oh, dude, that's so funny.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man. But the delivery was just so clean. Eric Matthews takes the cake for sure. He's also the Flash voice. He's the voice of the Flash, Ron Stoppable and King Possible. I mean, the dude does it all. But yeah, I would love to be in a popular sitcom and be someone like Eric Matthews or someone like Carlton.
Carlton.
Someone like um,
So would you consider yourself like the comic relief of the show, or
I
just
want to be
anything?
both comic relief and grounded. The grounding character. So
Okay.
the character that brings the main character off his high horse,
Mhm.
as well as the main character has to take me off of that as well. You know what I mean? Like a powerful co-star would be great for me. But like obviously, I want to get a regular spot on a popular sitcom, and it doesn't have to be the main character, but it is a big dream of mine to be that person. Can you imagine like a toy based off of my character? That'd be so funny. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Like,
that
look,
would,
Iz, it's
that's
you.
it's like is. Excuse me.
Look, you're missing a finger. I'm just kidding.
So that'd be my fourth one.
Oh, okay. So my fourth one off of the five things on our bucket list is to pay off our debt, to be debt free, which means no credit card bills. The mortgage is all paid. The car is
No
all paid.
school. No school loans.
School loans are all done, and pay off my sisters' debt, my mom and dad's debt, my mom.
Well, you want to
my
think
mom
about
and dad's
everybody.
debt,
You,
yeah.
my debt free.
So.
Everybody debt free.
And of course you is because you're gonna help
Oh
out.
yeah, you
So.
take my debt for sure.
Yeah, might as well.
I don't have a lot.
But and then just pay off the debt and family's debt, and of course we got to appreciate the ones working in the background. White Wong media back there. So we got to get them in. Got to
all right.
help their debt too. So yeah, it's I always grew up with knowing we didn't have a lot when we were little. I was telling playing the other day, like we grew up with just egg spam and the Motochan cup noodles and stuff.
Which is healthy,
super healthy
part
with the Vienna sausage, of course.
Diet, y'all. Spam and eggs and Muruchan ramen
And some rice and some
rice
Vienna sausage. So that was my go-to every time I come home, because my mom and dad wasn't home. They're either working, or going out to get food or whatever. But every time I come home, I go straight into the pantry, make me some Motochan and eggs and whatnot. So it's kind of like paying them back, paying money is not, it's an object, but it's also a tool to get things what you need. And I just don't want those that I'm actually close with to not have to think about when am I going to be able to pay or whatever. So that's one of my things. So the people that I'm really close with, like my circle, I want to make sure they're comfortable because they deserve it. They worked really hard and everything, and of course, it is the people that I know. So is.
Well, I mean, I think that's it's great to get everyone debt free. It's hard, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's tough out there, but you can do it. It's not impossible. So that's the one thing about it. Not impossible.
No.
But so like I said earlier, I don't really write a bucket list. I don't really have a bucket list that that is always on my mind. But I mean, there were
nothing specific,
there,
right?
Or three. There were three on there. There was $1 million in my bank account. That's for sure on a bucket list, somewhere in my mind. Mm-hmm. I believe so. Performing in a different country, that has always been my dream since I was 18. And be a regular in a sitcom, that has also been a dream since I was 18. So, currently their bucket list, or I would say their bucket list, but they're currently goals.
Right.
So this next one is another goal that I couldn't really think of a fifth one, but I want to visit all the states and the territories. I want to go there. I want to experience what it's like to be there. Certain museums and sites to see in every state and all that. You know what I mean? There's I've been 13 of them, so I'm pretty sure there's 37 of them left. Mm-hmm. And there's territories like Guam and Puerto Rico, and I don't know other territories that none of them are really coming up. But I want to go check them out. I want to go and see then I could be I am my country's countryman. I was I've been all over the nation. I want to be in anime. They call people that are very talented who went to the top of their age bracket. They call them national class. I want to be in national class. You know what I'm saying?
And the Virgin Islands too, right? They're U.S. territory.
Are they a territory?
Yeah, I think so. The Virgin Islands.
Let's go make it the islands then.
Yeah.
No?
This
all
guy.
Right. What's your last one?
No is. So round up again. So number one, visit all 7 continents. Been to 4 of 7. Open. Second one is open up a business that can help people. Number three, own a private jet plane. 4, pay off debt and family's debt. Fifth one is buy a home and or car from my parents. I think that's always been on my bucket list. And like you said, these are they're not just a bucket list, but they're actually goals as well. And buying a home and or car for my parents has always been there. I think elementary school or whatever, like elementary or middle school, just slapped me in the face. Like, man, they're doing all this stuff, like putting up with me and dealing with me as a kid. Not many kids think about that when they are in middle school, but I was one of the ones where like I saw my parents struggling with money and everything like that. So it's like, why not, again, number 4 was pay off debt, family's debt. Like, why not just, pay it back, at the end. I've always wanted to see the day where I can tell my dad, like, hey, do you want a car? It's like, what kind of car do you want? You want this one?
Like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Father. Choose any of these cars right here, okay, Father?
Yeah, and then like, oh yeah, Mom, where you want to live at? You want to go here? Yeah. Want
to pick any house
in
pick
this
a house,
community? Yeah.
Spanish Trails, okay.
Spanish Trails. 7 Hills, okay.
7 Anthem. Mm-hmm.
Anthem. Oh my gosh. If those of you guys that are listening or watching us right now, these are some really top-notch neighborhoods in Las Vegas that I dare not to touch yet. But yeah, that's basically it. Go
ahead, choose a house, any house. Oh, you want plots of land? Oh, there's plenty.
Like Las Vegas, Okay.
Like, oh my gosh. Still developing. Lake Las Vegas reminds me of Hawaii a lot.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah. Buying a home and a car, or a car, or both, whatever, for my parents to, kind of pay it back. I always see, a lot of like YouTubers or even like basketball players or superstar athletes do that, and it's like very heartwarming.
LeBron bought his mom a Hummer.
Yeah, and that
was cool.
That's exactly what came into my mind.
That was the first thing he did, I think, when his first big check. Like,
right.
Mama!
I got you a Hummer.
I got you a Hummer.
Got you a Hummer. So, yeah, see, something like that. I would do something like that on my big first fat check. I would just do the same thing, too. Like, why just invest in something bigger for them, And then you move forward.
Yes.
Continue.
For sure. Well, I mean, these are just a couple of our, that we believe would be on our bucket list. What is on your bucket list, ladies and gentlemen? Go ahead and put it in the comments below if you're watching it on YouTube. If you guys also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and all that jazz, go ahead and, give us your 5 bucket lists on those social media platforms, because we want to know. We want to know what you guys, want to do. I mean, a lot of mine I feel is like robotic, but there's other people that like skydiving would be one of them, or maybe somebody wants to like handstand across the crosswalk just once. I mean, that'd be funny to do. I mean, you never know. Maybe bomb a hill in San Francisco in a wheelchair. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be scared because I've driven in San Francisco, and those hills are steep. Okay, they're steep. Okay,
or a bucket list can be like those water jetpacks, those little water. No, you don't talk about it where it's like the aqua jetpack looking thing.
Yeah. They have like
you do
piece
that
in the water, and it shoots out the water. Yeah.
When you do that in front of the Niagara Falls while eating an enchilada, or taco.
I don't know if that's possible to do.
Or taco. No?
I think
no?
You'd have to have the hugest the hugest pipe for the water to go through, or tube for the water to go through, and you have to be away from the from the rushing water.
That's why it's a bucket list, because
that sounds like the end of the bucket list. I mean, I'm not going to debunk it. It's probably possible. I mean,
right. But yeah, something crazy like that, You guys can also email us at r9podcast@gmail.com. And that's R, the letter N-I, podcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. If you guys don't want to write it down into YouTube, that's another way you guys can communicate with us. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's on your bucket list for sure.
What's on your bucket list?
What's on your bucket list?
All right, Ron, take us home.
All right, guys, so that wraps up this episode. Thank you to Wet Wong Media. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Yes, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Like, comment down below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are down below. Thanks again for watching. See you next time, guys.